Well, I hope that you guys are doing well today. Today, I want to talk about seasons. We have 4 wonderful seasons here in Minnesota: summer, fall, winter, and spring. And each of you might have your own season that you really enjoy. But think about the seasons of your day-to-day life. We have ups and downs. We have good days and bad days. We have days filled with joy and days filled with sorrow. Days filled with frustration and days filled with excitement. And so there's these seasons that we go through. Right now, for many of us, it's the season of starting with school, and there's a lot of uncertainty with that. But as we think through that, we think that we are in control. And you know what? We're not. So often we want to take our life and manage it day by day, hour by hour. But during the season of craziness that we are all experiencing in different ways, if you have kids, if you don't have kids at home, whatever, we're experiencing a season that is unlike any other right now. And it's time for us to put our hands up in the air and say, God, you are in control of this season. I need you to guide and direct me and my family. And when I think about those seasons and I think about all that, I think about what King Solomon did in Ecclesiastes. What a great poet he was. He loved to write poetry. And Ecclesiastes chapter 3, he talks about this whole time for everything, that there's these seasons of life. And he doesn't specifically talk about COVID and living through that right now. But as you listen to these words that I'm going to read here from Ecclesiastes chapter 3, be thinking about what that means in your life, in your family, and the season that you are living in right now. So if you want to open your Bibles to Ecclesiastes chapter 3, I'm going to read along, but again, maybe it's some words that you can reflect and meditate on throughout the day and maybe for the days and weeks ahead. So this is what it says. There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the sun. A time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to scatter stones and a time to gather them, a time to embrace and a time to refrain, a time to search and a time to give up, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to mend, a time to be silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, and a time for war and a time for peace. Those are all different ways to look at the seasons that we all go through. And so as you look at those words and you look at those phrases back and forth, which ones have you experienced during the last 4 or 5 months of this pandemic? How has your family responded? If you are struggling, if you feel like you're out of control and the season that you're in is in a downward spiral, I just ask you to stop and to pray. Ask God that during this season that you are experiencing right now, that he becomes the center of your life, that he comes in, gains control, because he's the ultimate authority over heaven and earth. And he's control over us. And so he wants what's best for you and for me each and every day and our families. So take time to pray. Ask him to be the center of your life. If he is already the center of life and he's there each and every day, continue to give thanks that he is there. So have a great day today as you go through the seasons of life, and that knowing that we are praying for you each and every day. Have a good one, guys.